It is.
Well, I'm hearing impaired, so I'm sorry if I sound chaotic.
Hold on tight as we explore the most unbelievable Karen encounters ever caught on camera. These jaw-dropping public disputes showcase just how intense and out of control things can get when tempers flare. In the first situation, we will witness this unreasonable request of Karen on the plane. On August 4th, 2023, a video was shared at the terminal as passengers boarded Flight 275, a routine flight from New York to Miami. Among the passengers were a mother, her son, and her husband. The family was walking to their seats, but they had no idea that this flight would be a routine one. The family had booked their seats well in advance, but as they settled in, it became clear that there was a problem with their seating arrangements. The mother, whom we will call Karen, was particularly concerned that her son was not sitting near her. Her husband, who was autistic, was sitting a few rows away, and this was clearly a significant issue for Karen.
Your son and your dad
Somebody's
together.
Somebody's using God's name in the name of the Lord. Can you please help me?
I can as soon
Because
as
we
you
can't.
No,
Yes.
The situation quickly escalated as Karen's frustration exploded. She became loud, berated the flight attendants, and made impossible demands. Her insistence that her son sit next to her and her husband in the same row began to annoy other passengers. As Karen continued her tirade, other passengers looked at her with disapproval. The atmosphere in the cabin became tense as the orderly boarding process became chaotic.
I'll be quiet and I'll just sit here. I'll just sit here and be quiet. Can you please help me?
I can as soon
Because
as
we
you
can't.
No, I
Yes.
will.
The lead flight attempted to address Karen's concerns with empathy and understanding. She explained that while the airline would do its best to accommodate her needs, it was not always possible to rearrange seats on a crowded flight. She also reassured Karen that they would do their best to resolve the situation, but this did not calm her agitation. Despite the increased tension, the flight eventually took off. Karen's complaints continued throughout the boarding process, and the crew's attempts to address her concerns were met with continued resistance. In New York, disorderly conduct is punishable under Section 240 of the New York Penal Law. The law defines disorderly conduct as conduct that intentionally causes inconvenience, annoyance, or needless anxiety to another person or the public. Karen's actions in demanding a seat change prevented the plane from proceeding on schedule, which caused chaos on board. If convicted, the offender could be fined up to $500 or imprisoned for up to 3 months or both. All right, let's move to the next case when everything are out of control. On March 7, 2021, a normal nighttime coffee shop in California was recording. Among them was a woman who would soon become the center of an unusual and disturbing scene. Let's call her Karen for the sake of this story. Karen approached the counter with a sense of anticipation. She had ordered a meal, but today something was wrong. The order was not prepared as she requested, and Karen asked for a refund with an unhappy attitude when the staff told her to calm down because the store was crowded. The staff, including hardworking individuals who were doing their best to manage the orders, tried their best to assist her. They apologized for the mistake and offered to fix it. However, Karen's response was anything but calm. Instead of accepting the solution, she not only asked for a refund, but also insisted that her entire meal be free. Karen was constantly yelling and interrupting the employees. One employee, in anger, threw Karen's money on the table. What followed was an emotional and dramatic escalation that no one could have predicted. But Karen's frustration exploded. She began pounding on the counter, her voice rising with each complaint. It was clear to anyone watching that this was not just about food, but about power and control. Her outbursts were filled with swearing and threats directed at the employees. "Hey, you're disrespecting me," she yelled. "I'm the customer and I have rights."
Oh, Moses! Hello, you hear me? Hello, I'll crack you upside your head. Yo. Come on. You fucking play around. You better get off of me, nigga. Don't hold me.
Come on, calm down.
As Karen continued her tirade, the staff retreated behind the counter for their own safety. They were trained to handle difficult situations, but Karen's behavior exceeded anything they had ever encountered. In a desperate attempt to defuse the situation, they tried to remain calm, but it seemed to only increase Karen's anger. At this point, Karen's anger had turned violent. She reached across the counter, grabbing objects in a rage. Her actions were erratic and aggressive. She seemed to be deliberately trying to express her displeasure in the most dramatic way possible. She scanned the counter for anything she could use to express her frustration. Chaos broke out as customers in the coffee shop tried to intervene. Some tried to calm Karen down while others left the scene, clearly uncomfortable with what was happening. The coffee shop, normally a place of comfort and community, had become a battleground of emotions and conflict. Despite the efforts of those around her, Karen's rage showed no signs of abating.
Now tell me to calm down. No, it's not necessary, but you don't throw my fucking money at me. You don't fucking throw my money at me. Who said you was the lady? Who said you was nobody?
All that do is hand the lady your money.
According to California Penal Code 242, battery under California Penal Code SS 242 is defined as the use of force or violence against another person without their consent. The contact can be intentional and does not have to cause serious injury. Unwanted contact alone is enough to constitute battery. Her actions of hitting the employee with an object and throwing hot coffee put her in violation of this law. Had other customers not intervened, she would have faced serious charges. The penalty for this offense is up to 6 months in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. All right, this case was wild, but still not the worst one. Just wait until you see this next one. On August 21st, 2022, at a McDonald's restaurant in Florida, a video was recorded by a customer. According to the information provided, the conflict started with a male customer complaining about the smell coming from the trash and asking the staff to fix it. When the problem showed no signs of being resolved, an employee, Karen, came out to argue with the customer. The man still asked the staff to fix the trash because this was a restaurant and it affected everyone. Realizing that the customer would not stop arguing, this employee, Karen, started to act stupidly. She kept cursing at the customer and even slapped the customer in the face in a joking manner.
That's a nugget.
Go kill yourself, bitch.
That's what your suicide ass if you would tolerate right.
Immediately, the slap from the customer to the face made Karen dizzy. She fell against the counter in pain and humiliation. The employee was stunned by the slap, clearly disoriented and shocked. Her anger flared up. She continued to curse and accuse the man of attacking her. The staff and customers present there stood up to prevent the situation from developing further. The manager asked the male customer to leave to deal with the remaining situation. The employee, Karen, was still aggressive. She moved to the front of the counter where the man was standing and pushed the counter to hit the man in revenge for the painful and humiliating slap. The male customer followed the restaurant manager's request to avoid further complications. During the incident, Karen acted disrespectfully to the customer. She even hit the customer. It was a well-deserved retribution for Karen's stupid actions.
And how about this motherfucker person behind some nuggets? You in here cursing behind some nuggets. Hey. Don't nobody want to hear that. Then you gonna tell you. Hey, all right. When you get here, we gonna bring your money. Bring you step on the outside. Please, outside, bro. He got.
According to Chapter 784.03 Battery Florida statutes, the provision regulating the crime of assault, including unwanted physical contact with another person and causing injury. This can be treated as a lower or higher level crime, depending on the severity of the injury. Karen's act of slapping her customer in the face violated this framework. If no one intervened, Karen's actions would have resulted in her facing penalties that could include a fine of up to $1,000 and/or a maximum of 1 year in jail. If you found this story compelling, please subscribe to our channel for more content. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know how you would handle a similar situation. Your voice matters in the fight against injustice.